If you've got pain in a narrow band down below your calf muscle, you've got a spot the size of a nickel at the back of your heel that burns like crazy right when you wake up in the morning and get to your feet, then this is the video for you. Because I'm about to share 3 powerful strategies that can help you recover quickly and permanently from Achilles tendonitis. Let's get into this. Achilles tendonitis is a super common overuse injury that affects the dense band of tissue that connects your 2 calf muscles, your gastrocnemius and your soleus, down to your heel and to the plantar fascia on the bottom of the foot. It commonly affects runners who begin increasing their distances or their weekly volume, as well as middle-aged people who play sports like basketball, tennis, and pickleball, and they play these things infrequently, like only once or twice a week or on an erratic schedule. Now, the pain of Achilles tendonitis typically starts off as a mild ache along the Achilles tendon or down at the heel that's worse first thing in the morning or immediately following physical activity. Now, it's important to understand that for most cases of this problem, the term tendonitis, which implies inflammation of the tendon, is not the best description of what's actually happening, because more often than not, what precedes an Achilles tendonitis is a person placing more demand or more strain on their Achilles tendon than that tissue is accustomed to. And what results from that are these little microscopic tears in the tendon itself. Now, you will eventually get inflammation, you will get pain, you will get tension and tightness in the surrounding muscles, but those are all second-order effects. They happen after the tissue damage has taken place. And this is why it's not appropriate to treat these types of problems with anti-inflammatory drugs, because you're just treating the symptom, and more research is showing that these drugs actually interfere with the body's ability to heal the actual tissue damage that's taken place. And so our first order of business with these types of problems is to facilitate repair of the damaged tissue, and our second order of business is to build up the capacity of that tissue to handle the strain that you're putting on it. With all that said, let's move into strategy number 1, which is to break up any adhesions or little bits of scar tissue in areas that have been damaged to help realign the fibers and boost the overall tensile strength of the tendon. Typically, when I'm giving a person options to help them break up scar tissue and adhesions on their own at home, I look to this inexpensive but very effective tool. But the problem is, with the Achilles tendon, which sits here, it's a very short and very thin strip of tissue. And this shape and size doesn't really lend itself at all to getting in there. So we're going to have to look at other options. Now, what I used to do with the Achilles was switch over to a much smaller diameter foam roller, which is a better option, but still the flat surface of that roller means that you're really limited in your ability to access anything but the back side of the tendon. So I've always been looking for a better option. Enter the Helix roller from Rad. Notice the unique shape of this ultra high quality medium density foam roller. Now, that notch in the center just happens to accommodate the Achilles tendon perfectly, and these lips on the edges allow you to wrap around the sides of that tendon and even approach the anterior surface for the best possible release of that tissue. Now, you'll use that Helix roller like you would any other foam roller, which is part assessment tool and part treatment tool. To start this process off, set the roller on the floor perpendicular to your position. Take the Achilles on the affected side and place it right in the notch of the foam roller. The other foot should be bent up towards you. You want a nice upright position so that you can actually apply a little bit of weight into the roller, although you don't want to apply so much weight that it hurts. So you can lean back to take weight off. You can lean forward to put weight on. And then from here, what you're going to do is a general scan. So with your foot in a neutral position, you're going to slowly roll up the lower portion of the calf and then down to the heel, paying attention to any really tender spots. You'll then externally rotate your foot, and you're going to feel the lip of that roller dig into the tendon on the outside edge and kind of wrap around the side. And then from there, you'll repeat that scan, rolling up the calf and then down towards the heel, paying attention to any really tender areas. From there, internally rotate the hip. You'll feel the roller wrap around the opposite side of that tendon, and you'll scan again, up the calf and down towards the heel, paying attention for any really tender spots. Once you find the most tender spot, what you should do is focus all of your attention there with a 6-inch roll for 45 to 60 seconds. After you finish that 45 to 60 seconds of intense focus, then I like to do a general roll of the entire calf with the foot in a neutral position for just 30 seconds. I'll then switch over to the opposite side and repeat. The second strategy involves using a specialized taping technique to relieve pain, improve body awareness, and increase the delivery of nutrients to the damaged tissue. The best thing about this technique is that the benefits that you receive from it are continuous 24 hours a day for as long as the tape is applied. There are a few important things to keep in mind when using rock tape for Achilles tendonitis. First, the area that you're going to cover starts way up here where the muscle belly meets the tendon. It wraps around the heel, covers the plantar fascia, and inserts here on the ball of the foot. So you need quite a bit of tape to cover that area. Measure your tape carefully, trim it long enough to cover the entire space, then make sure that you round the edges like that so that the tape doesn't catch an edge and peel off prematurely. Next, remember that you're dealing with an area that has a lot of unique shapes, and getting a flat piece of tape on there can be challenging. I'm going to show you a technique for this area that's going to help you to avoid any problems. And then finally, because this area gets a lot of wear with you being on your feet all day, it's important to prep properly, which means make sure that the area is clean, dry, and free of all lotions, creams, and moisturizers. And then as a final step, I like to prep the entire space with an alcohol pad and then allow it to dry thoroughly before starting. Then you're going to take your strip of tape, tear off a tab 2 inches from the edge and peel it away just like that. Then you're going to aim here for the ball of the foot, try and get it dead center, and you're going to lay that section down with no stretch whatsoever. Use the back of your tape here to rub and activate that adhesive really well. Super important to get a good stick here. Then peel away the tab on the remaining section of tape, just like that. Catch a hold of the edge. Use this finger to get about 10 or 20% stretch across the Achilles. Come to the heel and then return and lay this area down. You can see that I'm flattening out the little bubble that I had developing there. Get that entire area stuck down. Then you can wrap the heel, making sure that the ankle comes into dorsiflexion, so you're pulling your toes up towards your shin. Wrap around that heel, going dead center. It's okay if the edges don't come down yet. Stay dead center. I'm stretching very slightly, like 10 to 20% on the tape, coming right up the center of that Achilles. When I get 2 inches from the end, I'm going to lay that last 2 inches down with no stretch whatsoever. Then I'm going to come in and rub down the edges. So I've stuck the center portion, and then I come in and I finalize it, which gives me the opportunity to correct if there's a little bubble in there. I can come in and smooth it out just like that. So center first, then go to your edges, take your tape and activate the adhesive, and that's going to finish it off. And what you're going to see here is, even with all of those unique shapes with the heel and then that thin tendon, that tape is stuck down perfectly, and you can do it like that every time just by getting the center first and then rolling your edges down. When you prep the area properly and take the time to get a perfect stick like that, a single tape application can stay on for 3 to 5 days at a time. And the third and final strategy is to strengthen all of the muscles that attach to your Achilles tendon, both above and below, as well as the tendon itself, so that it can handle everything that you're going to throw at it. And the exercise we're going to use to accomplish all of this is a slow-tempoed heel raise with an intense focus on the eccentric or lowering phase of the movement. To perform this exercise, you're going to start off facing the wall. The front of your foot should be positioned approximately 12 inches away from the wall. So you're standing off just a little bit. Hands are going to be lightly in contact with the wall, as light as you can possibly place them while still maintaining your balance. Feet should be positioned 6 inches apart. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to say that it's my left Achilles that has the problem. What you're going to do is shift your body weight away from the injured side. So in this case, I'm shifting most of my weight onto the right side. I'm then going to squeeze my calf muscles, pressing the ball of my feet and my toes hard into the floor, contracting those muscles and getting as high onto my toes as I possibly can. I'm not using my hands to lift me. They're just helping me to maintain my balance. I'm then going to shift my body weight back to the center, lift the uninjured side, and slowly descend back to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel down. Again. Shift weight away from the affected side, up on the toes as high as you possibly can, squeezing till you get to the top, shift weight back to the center, really tight contraction in the calves, lift the unaffected side, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna do the exact same thing with bent knees. Bend the knees to 30 degrees, hands drop to match my position here, shift weight away from the affected side, squeeze up onto the toes as high as you can possibly get. Soleus is doing all the work now. Weight back to the center, light touch on the wall, lift the unaffected side, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down to the floor. And repeat. One really important tip, and something that you might have noticed when I was demonstrating this exercise, is that I wear toe separators while performing my heel raises. And the reason that I do that is to help maintain optimal alignment of the big toe throughout the movement. This helps to ensure that I'm training the muscles of my foot, ankle, and calf to function from their strongest and most stable position. A couple important notes on this exercise. First, sets and reps. What you should be aiming for is somewhere between 12 and 15 repetitions for 3 sets with an intense focus on that slow, controlled 5-second lowering phase. Now, for best results, you're going to do that 2 times a day. The other thing that I want to talk about is regression. So for people who have a high degree of dysfunction or a lot of pain in the calf, what you're going to do to make this exercise easier is still shift away from that injured side, come up on 2, shift back to the center, but then you'll also lower on 2. And you're going to do that until you build up enough strength where you can come up high on the toes and come all the way down without pain. Then you can begin shifting over to that one leg lowering phase. So now you've got 3 proven strategies in your toolkit to help you overcome your Achilles tendonitis. And while each of these strategies has been shown to be effective when used on their own, they all do different things in the body. And so the best results are going to come when using them in combination with one another, just like I demonstrated in this video. Now, if you need any of the equipment that I used in this video, whether it's rock tape, toe separators, or that awesome Helix roller, I'll put links for all of those in the description down below. And when purchasing the Helix, don't forget to enter code PAINFIX at checkout, because Rad Roller is going to give you guys 15% off of your purchase just for being a member of the PAINFIX Protocol community. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here, and I'll see you next time.